Congratulations, Auburn family. Your Auburn basketball team currently has the longest home winning streak in college basketball. We're going to celebrate that. We're going to talk about it and maybe even predict when it might end coming up next. Good morning, Auburn family. Good morning, E2C Network family. Thank you for joining us, whether you are watching live, whether you're watching on the replay, however you got here today. We appreciate you being with us, hanging out with us, talking about something in the Auburn family spectrum. It always tends to be Auburn sports heavy here, but if it's orange and blue, it is what we do. We appreciate you hanging out with us to celebrate today. Usually, this is where we talk about the most current news stuff in a very short 15 to 20-minute live stream session where we obviously talk about the topic, but interact with you guys throughout the stream today. So we hope that you'll do that. A couple of things that you can do to help us get the show started today. You can start off by smashing that like button. If you enjoy this type of content, it will help the stream out. It helps people know that we're live to come and watch this with us. You could also post where you're watching from right now. This is our check-in period. Your city, your state, international. If you are international, let us know that you're here with a War Eagle. Would love to know if you're here. But in the meantime, let's get this show started and talk about the topic at hand. And normally when I do these shows, I like to have little main points to hit and stuff for you guys. But really, I just want to sit here and gush for a minute. And we got something that we want to talk about, how long this might last. But last night, the Gonzaga Bulldogs, one of the, premier programs in college basketball currently and historically, went down on its home turf to Loyola Marymount. There's so many Loyolas, it's hard to keep track of them all. But went down in surprising fashion, which was significant because at that time, the most current, biggest, longest, however you want to say it, home winning streak in college basketball belonged to them. 76 straight home games. Now, it's very easy to do that when you have basically no one to play in your conference schedule. So if you make it through your non-conference play and strategically have all your toughest teams on the road, then you're going to find yourself sitting very nicely with something like this, a long home winning streak of 76 games. But that is no more, my friends, thanks to Loyola Marymount. Auburn Tigers now hold the longest college basketball winning streak for now, and it is an amazing feat to be able to say that not only do we, the Auburn family, this team, Coach Bruce Pearl, Neville Arena, boast the longest winning streak. I think it's 28 games now. You would think it wouldn't be so hard to keep track of that, but I guess I was focusing on that 76 thing that seemed insurmountable. So for the longest time, there wasn't even a conversation, can Auburn pass Gonzaga? In terms of, getting, obviously there would be no way to pass because we're both playing home games at the same time. If they kept winning, they would keep increasing that number. But thankfully, that didn't happen. And now the Auburn Tigers hold the current longest winning streak. And it's really impressive because for the since Auburn Arena, when it first was named and came into being, it became a reputation of being a very nice, very acoustically well-built arena, very well set up in terms of experience for fans, for students, for the team. And even with some abysmal years in basketball, it hasn't had anything like this happen quite yet, where it's boasting the longest home winning streak right now. And so for us to reach this point in the program history, for us to reach this point in a time where we are boasting this accolade for the team, for Neville Arena, that's an incredible feat. And it should be something to be celebrated. The funniest thing about this is this point, it's another record that Coach Bruce Pearl adds to his list, right? He's been doing this since he got here, and it honestly wasn't that hard to do because there weren't a lot of records to break, or actually there were a lot of records to break because of how poorly we were doing in basketball before he arrived. So once again, he just keeps chopping them down, and people keep trying to stack him back up, but he keeps knocking them down. 28 games straight in Neville Arena. The Tigers have the advantage now. So the attention now shifts to them. The attention now, you look at and ask the question, how long could this thing go for the Auburn Tigers? Now, the great thing is this is a home winning streak, right? So obviously you can lose on the road, which Auburn has done only this year, obviously, losing to Memphis, USC, and surprisingly Georgia. But the thing is that unlike Gonzaga, where you may have one or two opponents that have a legitimate shot at beating you every year in your conference, the SEC, as we've talked about on our post-game live streams, on everything else, is one of the more challenging conferences to play in because of how competitive top to bottom it was going to go down. Leighton is here. Good to see you. I always knew I liked LMU. Took them down. I didn't dislike them or like them. I'm just thankful today that, we all wake up getting to celebrate this. I was awake for it last night. I didn't get to watch it live. But as soon as I got available to pull my phone up and looked at what was happening, the chaos that was ensuing, the celebration that was happening, everybody was celebrating. The Auburn social media accounts, I joined in on the fun too. It is a good day to be Auburn Tiger. The crazy thing is, I try to have some topics prepared with the idea that we will switch over if something more important comes up. This is more important. Because it's a momentous occasion, no matter how long it lasts for the Auburn Tigers. Hopefully, we're talking about this lasting quite some time. But the question is, how long will it last? We're going to try to answer that right now. So let me bring this on over here and show you what remains. And I know some of that's covered up, the times at least, by our logo right there. But what I want to show you is the current schedule as it stands left for the Auburn Tigers. Now, we've played 6 games in conference, and that's actually what we were going to talk about this morning, kind of talking about what's happened in the last 6 games, but we're going to be talking about what could be happening instead. So this is what you have to look at. The schedule as it stands, home and away, including all the SEC games and one last non-conference game with West Virginia coming up very, very, very soon, which is going to be exciting in and of itself. And thankfully, that one's on the road in Morgantown, so it's not another crack at this beautiful streak that we now host and get to hold everybody up over everybody else's head. So with that being said, look at the schedule right now. So you got South Carolina on the road this week, Texas A&M, West Virginia, Georgia, Tennessee, Texas A&M, Alabama, Missouri, Vanderbilt, Ole Miss, Kentucky, Alabama, and Tennessee. That is the schedule, but where are they all at? Obviously, this next Saturday, South Carolina, not going to be a problem either way, whether we win or lose, because it's away. Texas A&M comes to town. As of this moment, and last time I checked, they are undefeated in conference play. Buzz Williams has them jazzed up and jammed up, jelly tight, as some people would say, and playing well enough maybe to come into Neville Arena and decide to shock the world. So what I would say here when I look at this first opportunity for the streak to go down, while I feel fairly confident the Tigers can do that well against Texas A&M at home, Texas A&M and how they performed have got to concern you just a little bit. Leighton says, what is frustrating about this team thus far is how dominant they are at home, but fall behind on the road and have to crawl back for wins. Hopefully that can improve. Yeah, this morning we're just going to celebrate that. We're going to ignore the realities of what's going on with the team right now. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, listen, I think that just goes to show you how impressive this home streak is. Even more, the fact that they have struggled on the road as much as they have, and they come here and they're just a completely different team, even when they're maybe not offensively doing all that well, even when they're struggling in other facets of the game. So home, though, it's a different beast altogether, just what they're able to provide. So Texas A&M obviously has a shot at taking down Auburn. If I had to put a confidence of us winning that game, I'd probably put that one at about like a 45% right now because of just, uncertainty about how good this Texas A&M team. All right. West Virginia kind of moving down the schedule here. Not a problem. It's on the road. It'll take care of itself. Georgia, the next home game. Yes, Georgia beat us on the road in Stegman Coliseum. Yes, that was frustrating. Yes, that was discouraging. Yes, at that time we were having to call everybody off the cliff and say, everybody chill out for a second. I have about like 80% confidence that we're going to win this one. And I'm probably going to eat those words because I think these boys are mad about that game, especially when they get a crack at them in Neville Arena. So to me, 80% confidence. So I think at this moment, I'm going to predict that Texas A&M and Georgia follow the Tigers, continuing that home win streak all the way up to 30, if my numbers are correct. Moving on to Tennessee on the road, and Texas A&M again on the road this time. Not a problem whether you win or lose in terms of the streak. But there, right in the middle of that screen, or that image we have on the screen for you, is that old Alabama game. Alabama looks pretty good, doesn't they? A lot of fans are already chirping about, hoping that win streak is still there, ready to take us down in Neville Arena. I'm going to say my confidence on this one is about, I guess I should have said the reverse on Texas A&M. Confidence that we would win it would be 55% higher on the higher end. Confidence that we would win this one would be 45%. I know that's probably a little high than some of you believe or some of you think is possible based on how Alabama is performing, but we're getting them on the road. This will be the big one for us in terms of hype level. So get ready for all that's going to ensue with the build up to that, especially if Auburn is still undefeated. Boy, what you can't have happen is in the next home game against Missouri is there be a humongous drop off. You can't have that happen and go through Texas A&M, go through Georgia, go through Alabama, and then get Missouri coming in and then fall flat. Don't sleep on Missouri because you don't want to have all that happen. And then the Tigers end your hopes and dreams and goals and aspirations. On the road at Vanderbilt, Ole Miss comes to town. We've seen that Ole Miss, at least at this point in the season, does not seem to be a very good basketball team. So we can probably assume that one would be a win. I'd put that one probably about a 85% confidence at this moment that we get that win. At Kentucky, at Alabama, so not a problem there. And then Tennessee ends it out on the road. So for Auburn to remain undefeated on the home court this season, the biggest challenges that sit in front of it, Tennessee and Alabama, probably you could throw Texas A&M there too. It's not going to be easy, folks. It is not going to be easy, but it is all out there for the grabbing. And we've seen how well this team plays at home. That stretch at the end of the schedule will be rough. I'll be happy with 1-3, honestly. Yeah, in general, yes. I personally predicted, I did a little contest with the Jungle podcast, and I hope you guys will go check them out too. And they're updating you guys on a bunch of us Auburn content creators how we predicted. I predicted that Tennessee win at home. That's a tough one for me. That's me stepping out there a little bit. Not really super confident about all of that, but yeah, everything is in front of the Auburn Tigers. Everything is available for them, and hopefully, if the Tigers win with 1, 2, I'm trying to count them at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 home games left. We are talking at the end of the season. Hopefully, I'm not jinxing them. About a 36 home game winning streak. How awesome would that be, folks? It'd be amazing, wouldn't it? All right. So if you have any other comments or questions, talk about speaking, Kyle. Drop those down below right now. I'll addressing those as we start rounding out our show today. But let me give you a heads up what's going on E2C Network right now. Things that you don't want to miss. If you haven't, check out our podcast with this one with Chandler Fullman and Jace Phillips, Inside the Jungle podcast for basketball. They're detailing the last few games, the great time we've been having there. You can find it where podcasts are found anywhere, including YouTube. We have a separate YouTube channel just for those. Just type in E2C Network Podcast. Our next scheduled live stream, since it's the weekend, no Good Morning Auburns, but we'll have Auburn versus South Carolina post-game reaction show. Don't miss that. Would love to see you being part of that. We got a subscriber giveaway going on, so subscribe so you can be part of that. If you want to check out links in the description for ways that you can help support our content, there's a channel membership program, booster club program. All of those things are available to you. You can check out those. But the biggest thing you could do for us is smash the like button because it does help our stream go out there to others. It helps build our little family within the Auburn family. All right. So there you have it. Auburn basketball hosts the longest home win streak in college basketball right now at 28 games. Maybe could be as long as 36 games if we did the math right by the end of this thing. And I'm really excited to see what they can do on the road. And will they rise to the occasion of this challenge of being the hunted and see how they respond to potential adversity that comes their way with trying to nurse, build, and protect a 28 home game winning streak. Regarding Bama, they score 80-plus points consistently with how we slow down the ball. And suffocating defense, I think holding them to 65 or 70 might just be enough to take one. I think so as well. If we can hold teams into the mid-60s, we're going to be able to score enough to do that. That's what we typically do, especially at home. We will wait and see, though. Have to wait at least till the midweek to find out the first game where we protect that home winning streak. But in the meantime, it will be fun to watch this team. Thank you guys so much for joining us this morning on the live. Thank you for those of you watching on the replay. We appreciate you guys spending time with us, being part of our little family within the Auburn family. Till I talk to you again, War Eagle.